How's it going, guys? Uh, Looking at the rogue build I have for season one and kind of the gist of what I got going on here. So everything's centered around poison imbuement and using flurry and spamming poison imbuement. So for the helm, we have damage reduction with the aspect of might. We have lucky hit critical strikes with marksman skills. Give me the dark shroud, 50%. I don't use dark shroud as a skill, although I've been flip flopping back and forth whether or not I should stick to that or not. But we'll see. We'll see how the season plays out. Um, and then we have aspect of imitated imbuement. So Shadow Clone mimics my imbuement skill and gives it 15% increased damage for 9 seconds after casting. Um, let's see. Aspect of disobedience, and that will be the 0.5% stacking armor, even though they nerfed it. And then we have the aspect of the Ravager, which is the 2 Shadow Step charges and the increased Shadow Step damage. And let's see, the aspect of the Cranquin. When casting an imbuement skill, trigger an explosion around yourself, applying imbuement effects and dealing damage of the same type. So, this works for all the imbuments, but for me and my poison, I can add like multiple stacks of poison damage, as you saw in that boss fight there. And I can also just spam it using the next aspect on my right here in this ring. Of bursting venoms. Critical strikes with poison imbued skills have up to 10% chance to create a toxic pool, and while they're staying in that pool, it does damage, and also have no cooldown and no charge limit, so I can just spam poison imbuement, and these two go together extremely well. Also, we have my amulet, which is basic attack skills gain 45% increased attack speed. And my other ring is killing a vulnerable enemy grants you 70% increased energy regeneration for 4 seconds. I've been using swords. They kind of slap the critical strike damage down a lot, so I'm not sure. I'll have to do testing on whether or not daggers are more viable. But, I'm running Flurry, so obviously I'm going to be using the aspect of the Serpent's Bite. So my Flurry attacks all around me. And then for most of boss fights and single target damaging phases, you're going to be standing still for the most part. I, shadow stepped once on that fight, I think, and that deals 10% increased damage for each second you stand still up to 30 seconds. So 30% is actually a pretty good amount of damage there. So I have a really high attack power. My life is on the low side. I haven't been very lucky with getting stats and rolls that I really like. I've been stacking a lot of critical strike and critical strike damage, as well as when I can, like 4 ranks of flurry on my gauntlets, and mostly everything else is centered around imbuement skill, critical strike damage, core skill damage, and damage to poison and vulnerable, even though vulnerable got nerfed as well. So we'll see how this plays out kind of in the season, but this is the build I got so far. Paragon board, I've kind of just been winging it. I'm not doing any like real studying on that. I'm trying to figure out what's best or what's not best. I haven't gone by any guides or anything, so by all means, this is not an end all be all. Using glyphs efficacy on the no witnesses board right now. I have combat. On the exploit weakness board, I have fluidity. On the cheap shot board, I have devious, and up here, I haven't figured out what I want to put on that one yet, but I'm not sure if I'll go all the way to tricks of the trade. But during the season, we'll see how that goes. And then for skill tree, puncture fundamental puncture. I highly recommend doing siphoning strikes and sturdy. I know that siphoning strikes, I think, got can't remember if it was buffed or not, but these are both really good. Damage reduction, anytime you can take damage reduction. And then I have 9 points maxed out in Flurry for that full 3-point combo. And then Shadow Step with the Methodical Shadow Step for the 2-second stun. Weapon Mastery bonus, of course. I have 1 point in Agile to get 3 points in Mending Obscurity, which pairs well when I use my Concealment. So I can go invisible, basically regen full health if I need to. It also gives me unstoppable movement speed and 40 energy when I use it. Plus, with the countering stealth, I get a guaranteed critical strike when I come out of it. And then Exploit and Malice are always recommended for the vulnerable damage and damage to healthy or injured. I'm running Poison Imbuement, obviously, so I'm taking Imbued Skills, Critical Strike Chance, 3 in Deadly Venom, and I used 1 point in Debilitating Toxins. You know, if they're poisoned, it works really well. It's an extra 15% if you want to go that way, but blended Poison Imbuement for the final one on that. I am using my Shadow Clone with points into Adrenaline Rush, Haste, and Aftermath. And then I'm testing Close Quarters right now. I've been using Precision, but I'm not sure which I like better. I just swapped over to Close Quarters, so we'll see during the season. But that's my build right now. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down at the bottom there. And good luck in Season 1, guys. It'll be a good one.